guys, welcome to the final video of the year. It's the end of 2022 and it's time for my annual review goals video. This is the fourth video I have done of this, so if you haven't watched the previous ones, you can do if you want to. I've popped them in a little playlist. This is what you need to look for. These are the videos you need to look for, and it's my way of reflecting on the year. I watch the video that I made the year previously. I watch it, I react to it, I see what I did. Right now I have some ideas of what I put in place, like the goals I put in place last year, but I can't remember. I don't know if it worked out the way I thought it would. I thought we would look back on it together, and then I am going to set some goals for next year, and next year I will record another video, so please subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean the absolute world. Before I get into it, I just want to say, right now I don't know if I hit my goals for the year on the things I planned, but this year has been wonderful. It's been a really tough year, not just for me but for other small businesses. It's been really hard, and I've worked my butt off this year. I've tried really hard. I have done some amazing things which I will talk about, but I just want to say to you, thank you so much. If you are brand new and you've just found me, hi, welcome. If you've been with me since the beginning, we started this thing in 2019, and I was just sat at home with no like plans of how my life was gonna go, and we are now 3 years into that, nearly 4 years into that, and life has changed massively for me, and it's you, the people that watch these videos and support my shop and support my Patreon, that make it possible. So I just want to say thank you so much. Get cozy. I'm all cozy. I've got a hot chocolate, and I'm going to load up the video from last year and we will watch it together, and let's see if I hit my goals that I set myself. So the video is all loaded up, hopefully you can see it here, and let's go, let's watch it, let's see what happens. Okay, so I have my goals written out, not the most sophisticated way of writing it out, but I have realised I had quite a few goals that I wanted to hit next year, and after watching that video I realised that it's not about setting these loads of goals and you know, I'm not bothered about doing that, because look, I didn't hit anything from last year. I forgot that I didn't hit any of my goals in the previous year. Hopefully I hit a few this time. Let's see. Let's get into it. The first goal for next year is to continue on with my sales trackers. So if you've been watching my studio vlogs, you'll know that I made these trackers for myself basically in September. So the goal was to continue with my sales trackers. So at this point last year, I had done the final 3 months of the year by tracking them. You can see them on my wall there in the video. It was a little goal I'd set myself to do October, November, December, to hit 100 sales in each month. I made these little sales trackers, and other people wanted to join along with me. I made them into a freebie that you could download yourself, and I did a whole year of tracking. Don't know if you can see behind me, I have. So I hit my goal, my first goal, I hit it. I tracked every single month. It's gone absolutely amazing. I've paused it, so I'm not sure if I actually set myself a goal of like how many sales I wanted to get. I think the goal was just to keep tracking sales. It wasn't necessarily about the actual amount of sales. So yeah, I achieved that, and I'm really proud to say that so many of you also joined me on that journey. I have had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you download those trackers for free. I think there's been over 1,000 downloads of them, which is just absolutely incredible. They're available for 2023 now, so just like there's a link in my below. They're free, completely free. Download them, track your sales. It's a really good habit to get into. You need to know your numbers, and yeah, I'm really happy that we did that. So let's carry on. Remember, the sales were really low. I had about 12 sales that month or something like that. I would really like to continue that on next year. I think 100 is a lot, so I've put here that I would like to on average get 50 sales each month throughout the whole year. So I have set a goal there, and I've said I'd like to get 50 sales on average each month. I was nervous about that. I'd hit 100 sales in the, like over 100 sales in the final few months of that year, but I didn't know how the following year was going to go. I've got it all here. So there's like monthly trackers and then there's like an overview, and I have the overview here. The first few months I hit 67 sales, February was 60, March was 56, April was 50. So I was hitting my 50 sales a month in the first few months. May dropped down, but I was on holiday for some of that. And then everything sort of ramped up in the second half of the year. I made and it wasn't an accident. I think that's the thing that feels good, is that up until that point, I feel like sales were just coming in and I wasn't in control of it. So if it was going great, that was good. But if things were going bad, I didn't have a handle on how it was going. And this year I was quite conscious with the launches and the products and getting into shops and doing all these things. And then the second half of the year it really ramped up. So I was getting 100 sales. I got 100 sales in June, July was 109, August was 144. Everything really ramped up. And I have a little post-it here which I think I did I think I worked this out a couple of weeks ago, so it'll be a little bit more than this, but my sales for the year were 1,362, which is absolutely incredible, and it means I averaged over 100 each month. So yeah, I ticked that goal off as well, so yeah, I'm really happy. Although I have managed to do 100 in October and November, I think that's normal because that's the run up to Christmas. Average it out 50 each month. The next goal is wholesale. So 2022 is hopefully going to be the year that I really move into wholesale. So I have had this on my goals for the past 2 years, I think. Maybe I need to double check, but I did it. This is the year I started wholesale. Yay! Now, I haven't enjoyed it at all. So I realised, so it's one of those things where you think it's the route you want to go down, and it still is. I'm not stopping doing wholesale because I genuinely believe for me to grow I need to be in shops and things, but I have really struggled with the stress of it. So I've had 7 wholesale orders, which has been great, but I'm just not sure I have like the pricing right, or I don't know right now. It's really hard. Like, I wasn't getting any wholesale orders, so I lowered my pricing on there. Not the pricing, but like the amount you needed to spend to place an order, which is good. It brought orders in, but I think for wholesale to work you need to have the bigger orders, because each product I'm making like half the amount, so I need to sell double. There's a lot of complicating things. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I was just always on edge thinking, like, do I have enough stock? What if someone wants to place a big order and I don't have the stuff? It's been hard. So I have achieved that goal. I am selling wholesale and I've done a few wholesale orders. I'm just not enjoying it right now. So it's not something I am like jumping for joy at. But hopefully, we'll see. Maybe next year I can figure it out. But next year I'd like to move into that like stream. So hopefully, Emily, by the time you're watching this at the end of 2022, you are selling wholesale and it's going really well. Fingers crossed. I am selling wholesale. It's going okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel no further along in my wholesale journey, but I suppose I am. I've done wholesale orders. I'm in shops. I just wish I was more confident with it, so I'm hoping you can do it. Okay, third on my list is I would really like to do another Kickstarter this year, kind of early in the year. I have one planned out, a big one, and I want it to be big. I did a big one at just after I recorded that last video that we've just watched, and it was big and it was scary, but I did it. And I would like the Kickstarter this year to be the biggest one I've ever done, the most exciting one. Yeah, fingers crossed. Again, I achieved this goal. This is the highlight of my year. So as I'm recording this video, I know exactly what I want to do for the Kickstarter. I'd had the idea for months and months, that I wanted to do a pin that opened, and I had to do a lot of research and figure out if it was possible, and I launched the Kickstarter on the 1st of February, so you know, only a few weeks after this, and I did it for the 4 pins, and it was just the most insane 4 weeks of Emily Harvey. I've never experienced anything like it. The Kickstarter I was talking about in that was the one I'd just done before it, and it was my winter one, and I think I raised about £5,000 from that, and that was like 8 pins, a Christmas decoration. This was mental. It was 4 weeks, so the whole of February, and we managed to fund 4 pins, a 5th Kickstarter pin, 2 washi tapes, a patch, a bullet journal, 2 prints. Am I missing anything? I don't know if I'm missing anything. We raised over £11,000 in 4 weeks on that Kickstarter. It was the biggest Kickstarter I have personally ever done. It was absolutely insane, the support. They are my best-selling products right now. I love the pins so much, and I'm so glad I did it. I'm so unbelievably glad I did it. And do you know what I'm also really glad? I'm really glad that I pushed myself and said that I wanted it to be the biggest Kickstarter ever. I wasn't aiming small, like I was gonna make it big, and I wanted it to be big, and I pushed it a lot. And you guys supported me massively. It was absolutely insane, so thank you so much. Again, I don't know, I think it will work out. I think I'll do a Kickstarter. I can pretty much say that I will do it. Will it be my biggest, best and most successful one? Right now I don't know, but fingers crossed. It will. Fingers crossed that's the case. Number 4 is do more art challenges. I've said it every year, but I'd like to draw more. So I've set myself that I would like to do 5 draw this in your styles from other people. I have not achieved this. I don't even know if I did 1. I definitely didn't. Now this isn't to say I didn't do a lot of drawing this year. I'm really proud of the drawings I did this year. I have made 6 Patreon boxes with illustrations. I am so proud of it. But doing the art challenges, I didn't put time aside to do them, so I didn't achieve this goal, sadly. I actually forgot that I made this goal. Whoops. People. So this is for future Emily watching next year. Pause the video now and put up the 5 draw this in your styles that you did this year. I didn't do any. Whoops. Okay, go. So hopefully she's done that and you're watching that. I'd also like to do 2 of my own if I hit big milestones. If I hit 20,000, which... Did I do any draw this in your styles this year? I don't think I did. I normally do draw this in your styles when I hit a milestone numbers wise, and I hit a big one. I hit 20,000 followers on Instagram this year, but I don't know, it's almost like I didn't want to celebrate it. It felt a bit weird, so maybe we're overdue a draw this in your style. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do one. 50,000, which could be early next year, maybe. I'll do a big one then. And yeah, hopefully I do 2 draw this in your styles next year. Another goal I have is that I would really like to get better at saving money. I don't know if people know this about me, probably not. I'm really bad at saving money. I've got every great intention of saving money, but then I find things that it gets spent on. So I have set it up. I've literally just done it now, and hopefully this might encourage you to do it as well. So I'm with Monzo for my business account, and they have a... Okay, I'm gonna pause the video there because I know what's coming. I wanted to save money. I think, did I want to save £1,000? Something ridiculous like that. The Emily in this video doesn't understand that in couple of days time, she's gonna get a letter to say she made a mistake and she owes a lot of money in tax. I did my tax return slightly after the recording of this video, and there's just a lot of things that went on, and I did really well the previous year and kind of was in denial about it, and yeah, I got an £8,000 tax bill. I didn't owe 8,000 because what they do is they charge you and then ask for half, like ask for the second year. So 8 grand was covered in 2 years, and I owed it, like they were asking for it. So where I planned on saving lots of money this year and like putting money aside, I have paid that off. So I set up a payment plan with HMRC, which they've been great about it, and it's all my own fault. Like I want to pay the tax, it's all my own fault, but I was sending, it was around £800 a month I ended up having to pay out this year to my tax bill. So in a way I didn't save any money. I haven't saved any money this year, but I'm ending the year having paid that off. So in a way I saved it. I just used all the savings and paid a tax bill. So this is the year, hopefully, that I save some money now that I'm all up to date with my tax. But this is just a tip for you. You don't know when things are going to take off. You don't know. Like I went from earning 0 one year to then going into 2020 having the most amazing year. And when you go so long without earning money or being taxed at source, like being in a job and being taxed that way, to then earning a higher amount, and kind of, I was putting little bits away, but I must have just been in denial of what was going on. And then when you do your tax return and think, oh my god, this actually went better than I thought, you can't plan for that. So just please put aside 20% of all your income. Even if you don't think you're earning much, you might be doing better than you think. So just put money aside, because you don't know how things are going to go. And I didn't do that. I just I just took every month as it was, just thinking that this could all end, and it wasn't. It was growing in 2020, and it's just a massive lesson I learned. And yeah, anyway, there's bigger problems you could have. It was hard this year because this year was a much quieter year and I was paying out a lot each month. So I think I just enjoyed 2020 too much, really. Whoops. I'm hoping by the time next year I have a little tax pot there with a couple of £1,000 in it, maybe £2,000 would be really lovely to be in there. That would have been really nice to have just £2,000 right now in a little pot. Damn. And then another one I've added is I've basically taken it from last year, and it's not necessarily complete it, but have a plan for an ebook or a course. Let me know what. I forgot I set this goal and I did it, yay! I wanted to launch an ebook or a course or just something, and this year I wrote an ebook. Is it amazing? No. Am I glad I did it? Yes. It's all about reels, and there's stuff in there that's probably not even, like, things change so fast. It's probably not like completely up to date now, but I'm really glad I wrote it. Am I in a rush to do another one? No, only because I've realised, like, as soon as you write something down, things change the next day. And I have done a lot of research this year, and I've purchased lots of ebooks from people that charge, like, I purchased an ebook for like £7, expecting it to have, I don't know, quite a bit of information, and it was 3 pages. It was just 3 pages, and I was just like, and it felt like copied and pasted from something else. So with my ebook, I wanted it to be like half the price, but just be crammed with not just information you can find anywhere, but like tips from me, things I figured out, and I did that. And it's still available if you want to check it out. I've realised that doing stuff like ebooks and courses is definitely a way forward. It's definitely an extra income stream. And I'm glad I did it. I'm really, really, really glad I did it. What you would prefer? Do you think an ebook would be a good route, or do you think a course would be a good route? And then on to numbers. I wasn't going to do this, but I've decided I am, because I really didn't hit them last year, and I'm actually feel fine about it. But I'm going to try again, and I'm about to talk numbers. I know for a fact I haven't hit these numbers, and I'm really not bothered because it's so out of my control now. I've realised, like, I can make reels, I can do all these things, but if people don't want to stick around, or Instagram doesn't want to show my things to other people, like, it's just hard. So whatever numbers I'm about to say, I know for a fact I didn't hit them. Let's see what wild numbers I put in place. Try and hit those numbers. So the first one is Instagram. I am going to set the exact same goal as last year, which is 25,000. So 25,000 on Instagram. Well, I don't know what I was at this point. Right now I'm at 20,129 followers. So yeah, nowhere near my goal of 25,000, and from the sounds of it, I had that goal the year before. I've been trying to reach 25,000 for a few years now. I'll get there eventually. Might take me 10 years, might take me 20 years. I've realised I'm not as bothered about numbers anymore, and that's why I didn't celebrate 20,000, because it doesn't really mean much, because engagement's low. Like, it's just a different, like, things have changed. I grew really fast in like 1 year. It went crazy, and I just assumed that would happen every year, and I've been humbled massively. So I think I was probably at about 19,000 here, maybe had 2,000 this year, maybe if that, but it's absolutely fine. Yeah, I have like 7,000 to get this year. I just said I've got 7,000 to get, so I'm probably, it's like 19,000. So yeah, 1,000 or 2,000 this year. So welcome to all of you. No clue. I just don't know. I could stay exactly the same, and the difference is this time I'm very happy to stay where I am. Oh, that's good. But the number's there. We'll see. YouTube, I'm gonna try for 13,000. 13,000. Again, haven't hit that. 11,533. That's been a very slow climber this year. I don't even know where I was at. Let's see if I say. That's another 3,000 people this year. 3,000 people this year. So yeah, I've done half of that. 1,500. Gotta work on that next year. Really want to work on that next year. Next year, sorry. Again, I just don't know. And then I've set another 2 numbers which I didn't do last year. The first one is my mailing list. I've really realised how important a mailing list is this year, and I have one. I don't use it very well, so that is kind of a goal for next year, is to get better at my mailing list. But right now I have about 500 people on there, and by the end of the year I'd like to have 2,000. I'd like to have 2,000. Right, okay, so right then I had 500 people on my mailing list. I wanted to get to 2,000. Let's have a nosy. I have just over 1,000 people on my mailing list right now. So I doubled it, which I'm really happy with. I wanted to obviously get to 2,000, but it hasn't happened. But I tell you what I'm really happy with. I'm happy that I'm using my mailing list and it's working, you know. I could get better at it, but I'm definitely doing a hell of a lot more than I was then. If you want to join my mailing list, I would absolutely love it. It would mean the world. I'll leave a link below where you can join. I don't spam you, don't worry. I'll send you cheeky little discount codes and updates and things like that. So yeah, I didn't hit it, but I'm kind of happy. It's all good. 1,000 people on my mailing list. So if you haven't joined already, please do. I'll leave a link below. And then the final one is Patreon number. I'm very fortunate to have a Patreon community that is large for my size, and like for me as a person, with the followers that I have. My Patreon is, I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at. However, this year it hasn't grown at all. So I've had a great first year, it grew a lot, but then this year it's stayed the same. If anything, it's gone down. So I would really like to have 500 patrons by the end of 2022. It's hard because I'm so grateful for it to stay where it's at. It's about 400. That's a kicker. Let's have a look at my Patreon. It's really hard to talk about this because like I say in that video, I am insanely fortunate to have not a very large following but have a large Patreon. It means we're doing something right over there. People want to stay, and I'm really unbelievably proud of it. But it's similar to YouTube and Instagram. I grew very fast, and when you grow very, very, very fast, you assume you'll always keep growing, growing, growing. So when it either stops and starts going down, panic central. So let me just have a little quick look. I don't know how many patrons actually, I'll be able to see. I had 377 patrons at that point. At the previous year, it was in the 400s, so I was starting to lose patrons and I was starting to panic a little bit, because Patreon is my wage. It pays for the studio and covers me and my bills. So if I lose Patreon, I would lose the studio. It would affect my life massively, because I can't rely on my shop as much anymore. So I was starting to see that it was coming down. I wanted to bring it back up and even more. And I could kind of sense the panic in my voice of like, oh God, this is the end, like it's gonna end. I've chatted to a lot of people this year who also have patrons, and I've realised I'm not the only person that is struggling over there. People just don't have the extra money to spend, and I get it. I really do get it. So now we are another year in, and I'm down another 50 patrons, so I'm now at 325. It's still a great number of patrons to have. Absolutely insane, so I don't want anyone to think I'm being ungrateful. I am. There's 325 people in my community on Patreon that help support me and the studio. I'm unbelievably grateful. Next year, I hope to keep it at that. That's all I want. If it drops significantly, then I'll have to change how the business works, or but if you are a patron of mine, I just want to say thank you so much for sticking with me. I know times are tough. There's so many people that have messaged me to say, look, I have to cancel, but I'll be back, and that also means the world. If that's how it is, I would love for you to come back when the world's in a better place. Hopefully we can get it back to what it was at. But yeah, sadly I didn't hit that goal. But it's okay, it's fine. 500 would just be an amazing goal to get to have 500 people in my online community. So those were my goals. The majority of them I hit, a few I didn't, but it's absolutely fine. I'm thrilled with that. I'm thrilled with the few little goals that I set myself. I did it. So yeah, all in all, it's been great. Now, I know when I uploaded last year's video, I don't think I hit any of the goals in last year's video, as in the ones I was reacting to, and then I just sort of moved on to this year's goals, and so many people commented saying, hang on, you didn't hit it, but there were so many things you did do and you need to celebrate them. So this video is going to be slightly different in that I'm going to just quickly chat about a few things that I did do that weren't necessarily goals of mine that I did, and celebrate them, because we have to celebrate the things we do. So let's get into that. So obviously I chatted about a few things that I did in the goals, so I won't mention like wholesale and doing all those things, but here are some things that weren't in my goal list that I achieved this year. The first thing was I was a guest speaker on a podcast at the start of the year, so it's Business, Babies and Bossing It. I was invited onto that podcast, which was fab. I loved doing that. I did some events this year. I was a guest at 2 planner events, and then also the Magical Market in Birmingham. So that was fab, getting out and getting to some events. I met loads of you for the first time. So I've been running this business, like I started it in 2019. And then early 2020, we went into lockdown and I never got to see anybody. So I actually met so many of you this year. I'll put some of you here. I met you at different events and different things. It was so wonderful to actually give you hugs and say hi. Hopefully we can do more of that next year. I hosted 2 markets this year, so over on Patreon, if you are on my Patreon and you have a business, we have 2 markets every year, like online markets, and I hosted both of those this year. I was also in 2 pop-up shops this year. So I was in one in the White Rose Shopping Centre in Leeds, and I'm still in right now a shop in Sheffield in the Meadowhall. So that was not on my radar this year, and it's been amazing. It's been a great extra income for me to have my products in shops. So I suppose it's similar to wholesale, but I actually prefer the pop-up shop route better, because I can just keep it stocked up. So yeah, I'm so thrilled with how that's gone this year. And then the biggie, the big thing that was not, I think I knew about it when I recorded this video, but it was so new and I did not think it was going to happen. And that is, I launched a clothing collection this year with Locket Loves. I think the year before this one, I said I'd love to do clothing, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I loved the idea of having my drawings on clothing, but as a small business, it's so hard to fund. It's crazy. If you want to fund it in a range of sizes for everybody, you can't do it on your own. It's really hard. And to do it well, you know, I could just heat press onto a t-shirt. I could do that, but I just wanted it to be a bigger thing, something I couldn't do on my own. And when the email came through from Lucy asking me to work on that project, the stars aligned. It was just absolutely incredible. I worked on it all year long, and we launched it in November, and it's amazing, and I'm absolutely thrilled. I have them on right now. There's leggings, there's loungewear, there's kids, there's shorts, there's all sorts of stuff, and it's been an incredible collection to work on. I know so many of you bought some for Christmas, which really means a lot to me. Those are just some things that were not on my goals, and I achieved them this year, and it's been amazing. So let's get into some goals for next year. I don't think I've gone crazy at all, because there's a lot of change happening next year for me. My little boy Luca, who has been with me since I started this channel, he starts school in 2023. Can you believe it? My little boy is starting school, and that will change work for me massively, because my goals for this business was to have it so that I can take him to school and pick him up every day, and it will alter the way I have to work. I might be able to work more. It might be that I have to work less. I don't know right now. So I'm not cramming the diary with loads to do, because my priority is spending my last year with him. I'm going to travel with him and take him places. And then in September, obviously, he'll start school. So this is going to be the year that I not slow down, not step back, none of that, but I've been going at 100 miles an hour for 3 years, and it's the year of just calm. That is what I've told myself. 2023 is the year of calm. It's not about setting crazy goals and doing all these crazy things. I want to stay in business next year, but I also want to enjoy life next year, and I'm going to find that balance next year. So hopefully, Emily, when you're watching this at the end of 2023, going into 2024, hopefully you found that balance. Hopefully you feel calm. Hopefully anxiety has lowered. Right now, as I'm recording this, I wouldn't say I'm stressed out to the max, because I'm really not, but I'm not sleeping great. I'm sleepwalking a lot. When I sleepwalk, it's because I've got anxiety, I've got things on my mind, I've got a lot of broken sleep, and I want to remove that next year. So next year is the year of calm and finding balance and enjoying life. And the top thing on there, which is the most important for me, is I would like to be a healthier person next year. I have got myself into a bit of a... I'm actually quite an active person. I love being active and doing things, and this year I've had a few issues. I've said it on the vlogs before. I've got a bad back, I've got a neck problem, and all of this has kind of stopped my activeness. And it probably didn't need to, but I've used it as an excuse, and I've used it for too long. And what I've found is, if I'm not active and if I'm not healthy, it affects everything. I don't feel as motivated in here, I don't sleep right. So top of my list is to get healthier and more active. So you might think, that's not business related, but it is, because if I'm not healthy, I can't do this properly. And I want to do this for the rest of my life, and I can't if I'm not looking after myself. So I will be ramping up my activeness, getting out more, not just sitting at a desk all day long and then going home and sitting in front of the telly. Like I need to be doing that. And some people aren't here for that, and I'm definitely not going to vlog it or document it. But hopefully you see it in me that I am more active. I'm not the smallest of people, and I'm not doing it to lose weight or anything like that. But that might come from me ramping up my activeness again, because I have put weight on this year. It was going to happen when I go from working out 3-4 times a week to not at all. It does have an effect on your body, and I hope to change that next year, and hopefully you see it. I won't be talking about it or anything, but hopefully by the time you're watching this next year, you see that I look and feel in a better place, mentally and physically. Okay, on to actual business things. I've wrote down that I want to do 2 Kickstarters in 2023. I've been doing one every single year, and I have a plan to do a Kickstarter, which I've talked about on Patreon and things, for a product that I've never done before. It's completely different, and it will take a lot of planning and a big budget. I'm definitely going to do that this year, but it will be later in the year, so maybe second half, maybe in the summer, that's when we'll do that. I'd really like to do another pin Kickstarter, but I really want to do a mini pin collection, so like little tiny pins that can like fill up your pin boards. I'm doing it because I really need some I have gaps all over my pin board, and I know exactly the pins I want to do, so why not do a Kickstarter for them? So I am kind of planning that now to do at the start of the year, maybe in February. Let me know what you think about that. It will be, as you would expect from me, lilacs, golds, very magical inspired, but really small little pins in sets of maybe 4. So maybe we'll do like 1 set of 4, and then the stretch goals will be another set of 4. I don't know. That would be a smaller Kickstarter at the start of the year. It would help me massively because I need to restock a lot of pins, and I thought if I'm going to do a big restock of pins, I might as well get some new ones in as well. So the plan is to do 2 Kickstarters, one at the start of the year and one in the summer later on in the year for Christmas time. We'll see. So next up is events. I've said I want to do 3 events next year. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means markets. I don't know if that means speaking events. I just want to get out to 3 things and be, not just visit, but like be part of those events. I did Magical Market this year, loved it. I'm hoping to do that again. So 2 others on top of that. So follow me on my studio vlogs, we'll figure that out where those events are going to be. But hopefully by the time you're watching this at the end of the year, I've done maybe more than 3. Fingers crossed. The world is kind of, we're not back to pre-pandemic, but we're like, people are getting outside now, so hopefully you get to see more of me in the flesh. Next up is Patreon. I've talked about Patreon and how it's going down. I wanted to get to 500, that's not possible. I almost don't want to put a number on it, but I have realised that I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into Patreon next year. And if I can get it to 400 people, that would be incredible. I have definitely not stepped away from Patreon, because I do a lot of content on Patreon and I do it every month. But I used to post there the behind the scenes all the time and like ideas that I was having. And I kind of stopped with that in the second half of the year, just for various reasons, but I've decided that needs to come back. I need to, if I've got an idea, I want to share it with my patrons and get their feedback. And like this Kickstarter idea, right, I need to put it on Patreon, see what people think and get feedback. And my mind's been distracted in the second half of this year with a few things that have been going on personally, and like this month on Patreon I like missed a whole Zoom call that I had planned, and I said I'm really sorry, and everyone was so supportive, but it'll be clear in the new year why I've been so distracted, but I'm gonna sort that out next year, and it's gonna be amazing. And like getting back to like celebrating when people join, because like when it first started Patreon, I would have 30 people a day join. Like it was just so crazy, and I was sharing and I was like taking screenshots of everybody's name and posting it on Instagram, and now I can go 2 or 3 weeks without anybody joining. And it's just, although that's fine, when somebody does join, I need to celebrate them. So you'll see a few changes on my studio vlogs where I'm going to, at the start of each week, say a big hi and thank you to new people that have joined. And that's going to be like what I do every week, is just to like welcome new people. It's just a nice little touch, and I think it'll make a big difference. So I've put 400 patrons, but it doesn't matter if it's not 400. I hope by the end of 2023 I feel like I've made a really special place. I think I have, but it's hard when it's not growing and it's going down. You just doubt everything you're doing. So I'm hoping that it like levels off, if not is growing a little bit. We'll see. Okay, next on my list, I've said 3 more pop-up shops. I think this is where I want my future to be, is in pop-up shops. I absolutely love it. It's similar to wholesale, but not. It's not the stress of like people buying stock off you. It's me that's still keeps control of the stock, and I have to just add it to the shop. I'm in Sheffield right now with Curated Makers, and it's going incredibly well. And I've asked them if I can be in more of their shops, and they've said that would be great. So hopefully I'm in 3 more pop-up shops next year, and that would be a lovely little side income as well, to just keep those fully stocked of pins. Would be absolutely incredible, actually. Okay, I'm setting some more numbers, and carrying on from last year, I would really love to keep my sales trackers going. I really do love tracking them. I get a bit behind on doing these ones. I need to get back into that. But these overviews that I have, I love doing that. I love looking over and seeing how it's going and the trends and the months and things. So I would like to keep it going throughout 2023. And last year I wanted to average 50 sales a month, and I did more than that. This time I'm going to average 150 sales a month. That might seem crazy to some people, but you have to just keep growing, and I need business to keep growing. 150 sales on average, and that's across everything. So that would be over my pop-up shops, my Etsy, my website, my digital downloads. So 150 sales when you spread it over loads of things like that isn't crazy. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that, 150 sales. So I think I might have to make a bigger tracker sheet, maybe, or maybe we just print off 100 sheets multiple times. That would be good. But yeah, I don't want anyone to be discouraged when they hear my numbers. Like, if your sales goal is 5 a month, you celebrate that, you go for it. Because I remember when mine was 5 a month not that long ago. So just whatever your number is, be proud of that number. Don't feel ashamed or like you don't want to share it. We have to share it. That's the whole point of this, is to celebrate where we are and to just keep aiming for those bigger numbers. And that's why I'm going for 150, fingers crossed. And then the final thing that I have put on my goals list for this year is to launch my mentoring program. I really want to offer a mentoring, like one-to-one program, just with a couple of people every month, maybe every couple of months. I did it as a test run this year with somebody, and did it as a freebie, and it was incredible, and I know that they really enjoyed it. I get updates from them now saying how valuable it was, and I felt really good afterwards, and I really felt like I can do this, I can help people. And it's another, like I say, it's another income stream for me, as I'm really trying to spread out and not rely so much on Patreon. And it's something I'd love to do. So by the end of the year, hopefully you're watching this and maybe I can say I've mentored a couple of people. I think it would just be like one-off mentoring sessions. I don't know if it would be something I would commit to every month. maybe I can do like it was like a 2-hour Zoom call I did with this person, which was incredible. And then we're gonna do check-ins every sort of 6 months, every year. So maybe that's something I'd like to offer. If that's something you like the sound of and you think I could help you, let me know in the comments below. That will really like cheer me on to get it all set up. I don't know the system I would do it yet. Originally I was going to do it on Patreon. I was going to do a top tier that you would just join for 1 month, and that's how I would do it. And then if you wanted to talk to me every month, you could stay in that tier, and it's kind of you that's in control of that. We'll see, maybe that is something I do. So there we go, those are my goals for 2023. Thank you for looking back on the year with me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been really fun. It's been really fun. I love ending the year doing these videos, and I can go home feeling really proud of my year, and I can be all excited for next year. I will be back in, gosh, a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, with my first vlogs of the year. We've got loads to get started on next year. If I want to get a Kickstarter done, we need to get started. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much. I will leave all my links below to my shop, to my legging collection, to my Patreon. If you want to come and support me, it would mean the world. It helps massively, as you can tell. I hope you had a lovely Christmas. Happy New Year to you all, and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys.